what happens in a lot of churches. You have churches that's becoming a cult today. And people don't even understand that they're part of a cultic church. Although it's disguised or dressed up like it's a godly church. But they're preaching and teaching a different doctrine. They're doing things contrary to the Lord, the Word of God. And we wonder what is going on in the church, what's happening within the church. And you see people constantly leaving the church. Whose fault is that? That is the leaders of that church. It is whoever is over that church, the head of that church. It is their fault when people are leaving the church. And so when we look at our society, our world today, and we see all of the violence, all of the criminal activity happening, and we wonder what happened. Well, it's the church's fault because the church did not rise to the occasion. At one point, the church, it was the people, the government was operating off of the church. It was a church that was even controlling the kings of the world that were Christian-based. And so it was like the church, the God was the authority. But something happened along the way where the church became lazy and decided that, okay, we're just going to let things happen. And next thing you know, government started taking control and getting out of control. Government started, instead of the people controlling the government, now the government is controlling the people. And so we wonder, why is it that we're seeing so much violence? Why are we having these threats of wars, these rumors of wars? Why are we seeing so many people murdering people, so many people getting carjacked, so many people are getting raped, so many people their houses are getting broken into, and all of this vandalism is happening. The houses are getting burnt and businesses are getting burnt down, and now you have factories, food factories getting blown up. What's going on with the world? Something is taking place, something is happening. And when you look at even the confusions that's happening in the world today, to where you have the school systems that are teaching certain agenda, ideology, and this type of wokeism that's coming into the schools, to where now the parents don't have a say on how they raise their children anymore. And if they do rise up, now all of a sudden they're a threat, they're a terrorist, because they're speaking against the school system. But if we love our children, we're going to try and raise them up in a godly way, in a right way, and teach them a right relationship with God. We want them to go to school to be educated in arithmetic and reading and writing and social study, history and so forth. And ultimately, if they're wanting to get into science and get into other fields of career goals and so forth, or even if it's athletic, we want to work with them and teach them and guide them into those things. And we want our teachers in the school system to do the same. But now it's not about that. It's about this wokeism, trying to change the identity of the child at birth when they get older, and try and transform them into something they were not created to be. And confusion happens when you start getting the teachers in the school system to say, hey, today we're going to watch some videos of these two men or two boys or two girls or two women together. And they get more and more exploiting these things as they get in higher grades, K through 12. And so and then they push books in order for them to learn and to teach them how to really, instead of how God created us and how God brought the man and the woman together, because God said that a man must leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. what God has joined together, let no man tear apart. God has said that a man and woman has to be bound together to become one flesh. And yet, our systems of government, our school systems are teaching another language that we have never heard before. And so we wonder what is happening to our world today.